Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Boakai if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll give you a better level.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Hello, somewhere at 12. My name is Hansen there represent.
Welcome. Next for the 5 minutes of news of Current Affairs Department of the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. Today is Friday, November 1, 2024. My name is Johnson Gbrntolmah Naketa. In the headlines, President Joseph Boakai fires suspended LDA boss Abraham Nkrumah and his deputies for what he called acts of disorder and chaos. According to unconfirmed report, appoints Councillor Jala Bapu as Executive Director of the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court. Former Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Abel Plaki vows to expose individuals misleading the public that if Speaker Funadi Kofa resign would be a breach of the Constitution. National Union of Organizations of the Disabled appeals for budgetary allotment in the national budget, advanced 6-count recommendations to government for implementation. And away from Liberia, for more than 50 years, opposition politicians have dreamed of unseating the majority Botswanan Democratic Party has come to reality, according to the BBC. These plus many more, including the news bulletin, sports, are all packaged on today's edition of the program News Desk. Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited are our two sponsors on the program. We'll take a break to be right back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into Truth FM 96.1.
Thanks for rejoining us. At this point, we join Naketa Roberts, who will set the pace with the reading of the news bulletin. Good evening.
Good evening, Johnson, and good evening, everyone. President Joseph Boakai has named Councillor Jala Babu as Executive Director of the Office of War and Economic Crimes Court with immediate effect. This appointment follows the recommendations of the search committee, which identified Councillor Babu as the ideal candidate due to his extensive experience and qualifications. Councillor Babu's distinguished career includes roles as the head of the Law Reform Commission and the Dean of the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law at the University of Liberia, among other notable positions. The President has expressed full confidence that Councillor Babu will carry out this vital role with unwavering dedication, commitment to justice, and loyalty to the state as he looks forward to the significant contributions the new executive director will bring to the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court in the pursuit of justice in Liberia. Unconfirmed report says President Boakai has suspended several officials of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, including the Director General Abraham S. Nkrumah, Deputy Director General for Administration Bawo Cole, and Deputy Director General for Operations Hassan Fadiga. According to the report, the President took the decision due to what he described as acts of disorder and chaos among the leadership responsible for combating illicit drugs in the country. Former Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Abel Plaki has warned individuals to desist from misleading Speaker Funadi Kofa not to resign. Plaki said the decision preferred by the majority bloc to remove Speaker Kofa is constitutional, something he said anyone advising him not to listen to his colleague to step aside is doing it for their personal gains. Abel Blackie threatened to expose people who he said are misleading the public. That Speaker Fonati Kafa resignation will be a constitutional breach. He is therefore admonishing Speaker Kafa not to hold the country hostage. Instead, he should see reason to listen to his colleagues for the betterment of Liberia. Meanwhile, Abel Blackie has lauded President Joseph Boakai for the action taken to suspend the executive director of El Triple RC and his deputies for alleged acts of corruption. Recently, President Boakai suspended Patrick Wozi, executive director of the Liberia Refugee Repatriation and Resettlement Commission, deputy for operations Richie Hoff, and a deputy for administration A.J. Ahmed Kanen for alleged financial misconduct. Speaking to RCI News, Blackie said President Joseph Boakai's swift action to suspend the El Triple RC officials and other previous actions clearly shows his ability to transforming the country and upholding the rule of law. The Ministry of Education has officially launched its official school census in order to ascertain data and evidence-based information about the number of students, schools, vocational training institutions, and their challenges throughout the country. Speaking at the launching ceremony in Conkertown on Friday, Education Minister Dr. Jasu Jala disclosed that this exercise will start immediately and will last for 2 years. According to Minister Jala, the necessary preparation has been put in place and the training of trainers of the census staff is currently ongoing in Monrovia. The Education Minister put the cost for conducting the census of schools at $1.2 million United States dollars. Dr. Jala thanked the European Union, World Bank, the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, the United States Agency for International Development for contributing to the annual school census. The National Union Organization for People Living with a Disability is appealing for budgetary allotment in the national budget for the union. The group, through the president, Reverend Peter Flomo, said the lack of budgetary allotment is hindering the working of the union. According to Reverend Flomo, the union is striving to operate as such. They are calling on President Boakai to provide minimum personal support for the smooth operation of the institution. Meanwhile, the National Union Organization for Disabled has given a clarion call to the government through the Office of the President to ensure timely implementation. The National Organization Union for Disabled called, among other things, pointed out job placement and gainful employment for persons with disabilities, including sustainable empowerment programs through vocational training, higher education, and small-medium enterprises for self-reliance as per Article 27 of the UNCRDP and Section 5 of the NCD Act. This states that for every 100 employees within all government ministries and agencies, 4% should be people living with disabilities who are gainfully employed. Others are increments of National Commission on Disabled NCD fiscal budget for programs, implementations, and support to the National Union for People with Disability for administrative and operational expenditures. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection, has begun an intensive monitoring and evaluation training at a local guest house in Pinsville. The training is expected to bring together over 200 government employees on the Liberia Women Empowerment Project, targeting staffs of the Gender Social Inclusion Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Gender, and gender coordinators from the 15 counties. According to a gender ministry write-up on their official Facebook page, the training will cover key essential topics to build the capacities for gender-focused initiatives with focus on participatory monitoring and evaluation system assessment, development, plans for street children projects, and practical on-the-job training to enhance monitoring throughout the project implementation. The training, which is to last for 9 days, will also include a 2-day monitoring, evaluation, learning, and knowledge management strategic session with stakeholders and specialized training for coordinators and other participants to help them apply best practices in information management systems. About 46 inmates on today graduated from a rehabilitation program at the Monrovia Central Prison. The graduation of the 46 inmates, according to a Justice Ministry write-up on its official Facebook page, is in celebration of the 6th Hope for Brighter Future project of Samaritan Purse International Relief Liberia. During the graduation ceremony, each of the graduates were certificated and given a Holy Bible as guide for their new beginning, even though they are still in prison. The ceremony was graced by officials from the Ministry of Justice, Samaritan Purse, and the Bureau of Correction. That's the Bureau of Correction and Rehabilitation, among other high-profile officials. Action Aid Liberia has ended a 3-day National Climate Justice Summit 2024 on climate financing for agroecology and renewable energy. The National Climate Justice Summit is a sustainable practices that will transition to agroecology to reduce greenhouse gas emission and boost agro-biodiversity in West Africa. Speaking at the end of the program, the country director of Action Aid Liberia, Madam Elizabeth Johnson, expressed the importance of hosting the Climate Justice Summit in the country, something she said will help everyone. Madam Johnson noted that if Liberians come together in protecting the climate, it will lead to a productive climate. That's the Greater Monrovia Lions Club and the Monrovia Cedar Athletic Lions Club have donated some bags and accessories to the Monrovia Demonstration School and the Myean Academy. The accessories, according to RCI judicial correspondent, was 100 school bags worth over $800 containing pencils, pens, copybooks, erasers, among others, were given to 50 students each from both schools. Presenting the items, the president and first vice president, Councillor Bobby Livingston and Benedict Sanon, told the students that today's presentation was part of a project from the clubs as back-to-school gifts. Receiving the items, the principal of the Monrovia Demonstration School, June Code, thanked the Lions Club and added that identifying with the kids was a kind gesture and highlighting that it was huge, stressing that the thoughts were necessary for remembering the kids. At Myean Academy, Madam Sebastian Besigye thanked the club for the donation, describing the girls at Myean as change makers. She added that the over 400 girls are from the slum communities who are eager to learn, adding that with the help, it will save the school from purchasing additional materials for some students at the academy. Former Maryland County Senator has embarked on a drug-free awareness across the country through the group under the banner We the People organization. John Baloo, in an interview on Friday, said his decision to join the fight against drug activities is due to how the substance is endangering the youthful generation. According to him, his organization sees it necessary to buttress the LDEA efforts in making sure all necessary logistical and financial assistance can be provided to help in the fight against drug in Liberia. Prior to his visit, some disadvantaged youths who were arrested by the LDEA D3 base spoke to the station on their quest to leave the consumption of drug upon their release. The commander of the D3 base in Dupo Road, Jones namely, also outlined major arrests carried out to minimize drug activities since his assignment as the commander in the area. Concerned citizens of District 4 Moserado County have given 48 hours ultimatum to Representative Naketa Roberts to return to the chamber and actively participate in the district legislative work. The group said they have observed the absence of Representative Roberts from the main chamber and a lack of engagement from his office regarding pressing issues facing the district and the country at large. According to the concerned District 4 residents, the lawmaker has deliberately neglected his legislative duties and has involved himself with illegal and unscrupulous procedures aimed at removing Speaker Fonati Koffer. Speaking Friday at a press conference, the public relations officer of the group, Maurice George, said the group believes that elected lawmakers should void themselves from the acts of corrupt practices that have the propensity to undermine the constitution of the country. He said they expect transparency and honesty in the engagement for the legislative process, addressing the needs and concerns of citizens they serve, as they request the representative to return to the main chamber within the next 48 hours and recuse himself from the majority bloc. Meanwhile, the group has threatened that failure on the part of the lawmaker to return to work will result to gathering 10,000 signatures from the district to facilitate his removal from office. And away from Liberia, confident and well-mannered Botswana new president Dumar Bako carries the trends of a highly trained human rights lawyer. The 54-year-old throughout flaunts sentences speak of his legal education first in Botswana and then at Harvard Law School in the US. And this part being humble in victory, the fact that he won the presidency at the third time of seeking reveal and single-minded ambition. For more than 50 years, opposition politicians have dreamt of unseating the mighty Botswana Democratic Party, but only Bako has made that a reality. The crushing manner of the victory of his umbrella for democratic change, UCD party came as a surprise, including its teams to Bako himself, who admitted being shocked by the numbers. But dressed in his signature dark blue suit, he did not gloat or celebrate widely in his first comments to the media on Friday when the scale of his win became clear. That's RCR News Bulletin.
Ria
It's back to you,
TV,
Johnson.
True FM.
A Ria TV, True FM,
On Myean TV.
into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrel?
The black parent is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in your barefoot manner, we'll keep you later like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Hansen the Represent.
Welcome to News and Analysis, 30 minutes of news presentation, which is a regular feature on News Desk. If you are just joining us in one of our top developments, President Joseph Boakai fires suspended LDA boss Nkrumah and his deputies for what in court acts of disorder and chaos, according to unconfirmed report, appoints Councillor Jala Bapu as Executive Director of the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court. Let's bring you our first development on the program. Former Deputy Presidential Press Secretary April Paki has warned individuals to desist from misleading Speaker Fonadi Kofa not to resign. Plaki said the decision proffered by the majority bloc to remove Councillor Fonadi Kofa is constitutional, something he said anyone advising him not to listen to his colleagues to step aside is doing it for their personal gains. Ebe Plaki threatened to expose people who, he said, are misleading the public. The Speaker Kofa resignation will be a constitutional breach.
I want to thank the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency President Johnson Gbrntolmah Naketa Roberts, for initiating an investigation from corruption allegations against the three directors. This is the right thing. This is the main reason we elected. When I mean we, the Liberian people, also elected to those who are misleading the public and wanting the public to believe that heaven going to fall down when the speaker is removed. The Constitution is very clear. Article 49 talks about the removal of the speaker to term majority. You're talking about 49 out of 73. I know some people are attempting to hustle, so they are around attempting that they want to uphold, the rule of law. No, they are not upholding the rule of law. They are misleading the speaker. Some of them are behaving like Saddam Hussein, the late Saddam Hussein information minister. We know them. Some of them are behaving like they are in the interests of the rule of law. These are normal legislative practices. You are talking parable. You're not calling names. Some of them are speaking very loud at the feuding. Very, very loud at the feuding. We know some of them. And if they continue in such Nicodemus form, they will be exposed. You can't go and be receiving money from somewhere, and then you are attempting to be upholding the rule of law. Is that allegation? This is the truth, because they themselves know. They did not know that what is obtaining at the legislature is legal. The law gave the legislators the right. Article 33 talks about quorum. It's very, 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 very simple. Give me their own rule. And this is sadly, Mr. Speaker, the same people that elected you, this is your standing rule. You got more than half of the very people that elected you. So look, we lost confidence. The honorable thing to do is to say, thank you, gentlemen. Let's keep moving. You can't hold the country hostage. You can't hold the country hostage. The very speaker was on phone accusing his colleague. Let's look at the count against the battle speaker. They are accusing the speaker of corruption. They are accusing him of conflict of interest, meaning he working and serving as legal counsel for different institutions. They are accusing him of mismanaging his office, the legislature, and several other things listed in the count. And you guys are people that are behaving like demons. We will expose them. If they don't stop, you can't be attempting to hold or to preserve the rule of law. No, the legislature, particularly the House of Representatives, they've got the right as per Article 33, Article 49. Is that you got over 40 lawmakers? Let's assume that they don't have the quorum and you got 28%. What are you still doing? It means that the confidence, the people reposing you, no longer exists. The honorable thing to do is to give way. It is not bad. Even in America, two speakers are removed. Why people behaving as if to say there's a war coming? These are normal legislative practices. A resignation is accepted. No one is going to see you. But if you cannot resign, every time you go for section, you can resign. It tells you lost legitimacy. You can resign. So if you can resign, it means you are operating in violation. So you, the speaker, you can resign. So what do you go do? You are not resigning. That's why you see a deputy speaker knew better and he went to join the majority. Let's be frank here.
He is former presidential or deputy presidential press secretary Abel Plaki there speaking. Meanwhile, Plaki has lauded President Joseph Boakai for the action taken to suspend the executive director of the LRRC and his deputies for alleged acts of corruption. Recently, President Joseph Boakai suspended Patrick Wosi, executive director of the Liberia Refugee Repatriation and Resettlement Commission, Deputy for Administration Rachel Hoff, and Deputy for Administration A.G. Amakani for alleged financial misconduct. Speaking to RCI News, Plaki said President Joseph Boakai's swift actions to suspend the LRRC officials and other previous action clearly shows his ability to transforming the country and upholding the rule of law.
I want to thank the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency President Joseph Gbrntolmah Sr. for what he did at the LRRC for initiating an investigation from corruption allegation against the three directors there. This is the right thing. This is the main reason we elected, when I mean we, the Liberian people, elected President Joseph Gbrntolmah Naketa to stand up for them. We want him to go further. He should go further. He should go further. We will not allow anyone to undermine the integrity of the rescue mission. We will not allow anyone to undermine what Joseph Barker stands for. We trusted him. That's why we walk in the water to enlighten him. We know that he will do what is needful, like he begun doing already. He started at the Ministry of Education by dismissing the Deputy Minister for Administration. Now he's at LRRC, and his action is laudable. We want to commend him for that. We thank him and we urge him to do more because the Liberian people are depending on him. After the government that just left power, looted and messed this country up, and Joseph Barker is now picking up the broken pieces to put them back together. We can't afford to do business as usual. So we are here to say thank you to Keke Barker for the extraordinary job that he has done and continues to do. We are with you and we trust your ability that you will do even more than what you've done.
He is former Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Abe Blackie there speaking to RCI News. The National Union of Disabled, that's National Union of Organization of the Disabled, is appealing for budgetary allotment in the national budget for the union. The group, through its president, Reverend Peter Flomo, said the lack of budgetary allotment is hindering the workings of the union. According to Reverend Flomo, the union is striving to operate. As such, they are calling on President Joseph Barker to provide maximum personal support for the smooth operation of the institution.
Remember, the union do not have a budgetary allotment, as we heard me talking about it. So the union striving to survive. So we are also calling the attention of the president to see reason and that can be minimum support, even for his pocket, to say, look, union has come on, and this is 200,000. You try to do your best to seek the welfare when it comes to basic advocacy for persons with disability. And we will be so much kind to the office of the president to do the people work. If I could recall, as you rightly stated, when the government came into being, the National Commission on Disability was empty. There was no one to serve. But because of the call we've been making, the president was able to appoint, and as we speak, the three directors are now appointed at the National Commission on Disabilities. And likewise, Noah Saru Gibson is now working at NTA, which is the National Transit Center. He served there as the deputy manager for operation. And on another side, the president appointed another physically challenged as the board. So the president have walked into the disabled community by funding of 5 different individuals have been given jobs, and they are working currently.
Myean has given a clear call to the government through the office of the president to ensure the timely implementation. The court, among other things, pointed out job placement and gainful employment for persons with disabilities, including sustainable employment or empowerment programs through vocational training, higher education, and small medium enterprises for self-reliance apparent. That's Article 27 of the UNCRPD and Section 5 of the NCDI.
Liberia has signed and ratified. On a serious note, we want to sound a clarion call to the government of Liberia through the office of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Dr. Joseph Gbrntolmah Naketa, to ensure the timely implementation of the following counts, namely, count 1, jobs placement and gainful employment for persons with disability, including sustainable empowerment programs through vocational training, higher education, and small, medium enterprises for self-reliance as per Article 47 of the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and Section 5 of the National Commission on Disabilities Act, which talk about for every 100 employees within all government ministries, agencies, corporations, and private sectors, 4% should be persons with disabilities who are gainfully employed.
He is the president of the National Union of Organizations for the Disabled. His Reverend Peter Flomo there speaking at a press conference in Monrovian. Former Myean County Senator has embarked on a huge on a drugs-free awareness across the country through the group under the banner with the People organization. John Balu, in an interview on Friday, said his decision to join the fight against drugs activities is due to how the substance is endangering the youthful generation. According to him, his organization sees it necessary to address the LD or to buttress the LDA effort in making sure all necessary logistic and financial assistance can be provided to help in the fight against drugs in Liberia.
I was invited a few days ago in the Tupelo area to speak to an anti-drug gathering program organized by Motawe. Motawe is an organization of former drug users who have gathered themselves together, say no to drugs, and now they're going on the mission of converting people from the ghetto to glory. The DEA president, especially the prevention section, was part of it. And they said they felt inspired by some of the conversations we had, discussions there. So they asked me to please have a conversation with them in there, compare ideas and stuff like that. What I saw a DA detachment that is a little bit different from other DA I've seen. They are coming forth with the challenges and asking some other guidance in terms of what we have been able to gather over the years, our experience, expertise, relationships, and stuff like that. And so we had some very good discussions on the way forward. I found in them a group who are prepared to make a difference, despite the fact that their support is almost minimal, despite the fact that the DA is underpaid for the kind of work they do. We have this huge national crisis, and that they don't have the corresponding budgetary support. So they have convinced me, in my own view, that they are a group that I can work with. We have our group of We the People.
He is former Maryland County Senator John Balude speaking. Prior to his visit, some disadvantaged youth who were arrested by the LDAD-3 base spoke to the station.
My name is Sam. Sam Rufo.
So what's your age?
My age is 35.
35 years.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Bopolu.
Bopolu.
Yeah.
How you got
I happened to one bakery about washing, about closer to the man. After I started man running.
Who the man running?
So the same truck man. Oh my God, I smoking my car, I drinking my liquor. So the man running, I pick up.
What kind of drugs can you take?
I smoking grass, I drinking liquor, marijuana.
How long have you been taking marijuana?
10 years ago.
Got children?
Yeah, I get 2 children.
Where are they?
One to my mom auntie, one to my sister.
You can miss them sometimes?
I can miss them. Sometimes I get money, I can sell money there, but I still missing them.
So how you got into this?
I have friends. Even the day when the man hold me, I was telling all my friends, I said today is my last day to smoke. I'm Moses, but I'm 29.
Moses, where are you from?
From Grand Bazaar.
From Grand Bazaar. How did you get into this place?
I was brought to King Gray smoking grass.
Okay, smoke grass. How long have you been smoking grass?
3 years ago.
Only grass you smoke? Nothing different?
I'm in King Labor.
What were you doing first? You start going to King?
I was doing my carpentry work.
So why you have to leave the carpentry where you go to King?
I don't leave the carpentry work totally. Just to be smoking. Sometimes I finish work in the evening and go to King to go back. Just the investigators feel sorry for me. Yeah. After I leave here, I will not smoke it.
Before rehab?
Yeah.
Okay, how you got in it?
Running
from who?
Yeah. Smoke grass.
You are smoking grass. So what you used to do first? Then you start smoking.
And then go smoke.
There are some disadvantaged youths there in conversation with our reporter Corey Skanga. The commander of the D3 base in Dupont, Johnson Gbrntolmah, also outlined major arrests carried out to minimize drug activity since his assignment as the commander in the area.
The Senator Fisi was very much impressive. One really appreciated some interaction with him, like we talked about the community and the businesses within our area or jurisdiction or our control area. We work on it because like we decide to partner with the community because the DEA is a community and the community is the DEA. So we do everything possible. We're trying to establish a town hall meeting for the favorite chairpersons within the Tuporo Belt. EFW, King Gray, Pinzi, and Congota. We get our team already on the field, getting the favorite communities chairperson their name. We will have a town hall meeting at the Kingsway Town Hall very soon. We'll be part of. So we do everything possible. But the discussion here is talking about the community because where we assign.
He is the commander of the D3 base here in Dupont. He's Jones Gbrntolmah in conversation with our reporter. Well, folks, if you're just joining us, this is a reminder that you are in tune to the program News Desk, 45 minutes of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In more news, the Ministry of Education has officially launched its annual school case or census in order to ascertain data and evidence-based information about the number of students, schools, vocational training institutions, and their challenges throughout the country. Speaking at the launching ceremony in Congo, Education Minister Dr. Jasu Jala disclosed that this exercise will start immediately and will last for 2 years.
This initiative holds immense importance for our education sector, providing data critical to shaping policies, ensuring accountability, and tracking progress in delivering quality education to every child across our country. Today, we gather to mark a significant milestone in our journey towards enhancing our education in Liberia, the official launch of the 24-25 annual school census. This event is not just a procedural formality. It is a crucial step towards taking stock of the needs in the sector, which will enable us to determine how best to support our teachers, students, administrators, parents, and other stakeholders in the educational enterprise. The Ministry of Education is steadfastly committed to this initiative, aligning with our mandates under the 2011 Education Reform Act and the Education Sector Plan, as is also in consonance with the ARREST agenda. The insights we gather will inform our future planning and investment strategies, ensuring that every child in Liberia receives the quality education they.
She is Education Minister Dr. Jasu Jalade speaking. Action A Liberia has ended a 3-day National Climate Justice Summit 2024 on climate financing for agroecologic and renewable energy. The National Climate Summit or Climate Justice Summit is a sustainable practices that will transition to agroecologic to reduce greenhouse gases, emissions, and boost biodiversity in West Africa. Speaking at the end of the program, the country director of Action A Liberia, Madam Elizabeth Johnson, stressed the importance of hosting the conference in Liberia.
We want to appreciate especially towards ourselves. I think together the cooperative law, together and the cooperative institutions. When we started this job, we went to all of the different institutions just to share the idea. We also visited very good, and they were all very, very excited to be part of it. And we are still a result. We are still a result that for the past 3 days to 3 years, we are still a place for learning. Not just learning, but also a space for interacting and with so many critical issues. And those issues, we know that when we come back next year, that somebody there, we will actually be talking about this. So it's not like coming back to say, what do you want climate justice? Right? We want to say, if we talk about climate justice, when we came here, we discuss this and this is what
now we've been able to do this party, and we have been able to reach this number of people. We have been able to hold this number of engagement meetings, and because of the meeting, this is what has changed.
She is the country director of Action Aid Liberia, and Elizabeth Johnson. Meanwhile, some participants lauded Action Aid Liberia and partners for the opportunity provided them.
We want to appreciate you, especially the Stewart Society actors. Like yesterday, to say it. We want to. We want to appreciate you, especially the Stewart Society actors. I came together for what they plot, came together and the government institutions. When we started this job, we went to all of the different institutions just to share the idea. We also visited the and they were all very good.
We sincerely apologize for the wrong asset, but this development concerned citizens of District 4, most of the county, has given 48 hours ultimatum to Representative Naketa Thomas to return to the chamber and actively participate in the district legislative work. The group said they have observed the absence of Representative Naketa Thomas from the Myean chamber and the lack of engagement for his office regarding pressure or pressing national issues in the district and the country at large. The spokesperson or the public relations officer of the group is Maurice George. He been explaining to Newsband.
Over the past few weeks, we have witnessed your absence from the Myean chamber and lack of engagement from your office regarding the pressing issues facing our district and country. You have deliberately defeated our legislative debate by getting yourself involved with illegal and unscrupulous laws procedure to remove the elected speaker of the House of Representatives on conservative policy. We believe that as our elected representative, you must board yourself of incorrupt practices that have the propensity to undermine the constitution of our country. We expect transparency and honesty in your engagement in the legislative process addressing the needs and concerns of the ordinary. We hereby request that you return to the Myean chamber within the next 48 hours and rescue yourself from the so-called majority block of 42 representatives. Continue your work on behalf of District 4, Myean County. State of the Peace will result us moving forward with an initiative to have 10,000 signatures from our district to facilitate the removal of office. This step is not taken lightly. It came from our genuine concern for the district and our desire to ensure that our representation in government is active and responsive. We look forward to your timely response and action on this matter. Consensus is full Boswell County, office of the governor of Marcus Summons, community leadership, relevant political organizations.
Maurice George is the public relations officer of a group under the banner Concerned Citizens of District 4. They're speaking at a press conference in pains for taking us home on today's edition of the program News Desk. But as we take leave of you, a recap of our major development. President Joseph Boakai fires suspended LDA boss Ibrahim Kurman and his deputies for what he called acts of disorder and chaos. According to unconfirmed report, appoints Councillor Jala Bapu as Executive Director of the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Code. National Union of Organizations for the Disabled appeals for budgetary allotment in the national budget, advanced 6-count recommendations to government for implementation. And former Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Abe Plaki vowed to expose individuals misleading the public that if Speaker Fernando Kofa resign will be a breach of the Constitution. And away from Liberia for more than 50 years, opposition politicians have dreamed of unseating the majority Botswana Democratic Party has come to reality. We'd love to say many thanks to our writers, contributors, correspondent for making today's edition of the program and sources, thanks to Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. Naketa Roberts brought for us the news bulletin. Kopo Sangasara controlled and produced our sounds. Myean, as usual, was behind the camera. My name is Johnson Gbrntolmah. News Desk is taking its usual weekend break. They'll be back fresh on Monday. Join us if you can. Good night.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrel?
The black barrel is to tell Joseph Boakai if you don't organize yourself in your respectful manner, we will keep your better like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary at 12. My name is Johnson Gbrntolmah Naketa.
Welcome to News and Analysis, 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
We are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to True FM 96.1.